Deprill screams as she plummets through the branches of the tree, hands failing to clutch the decomposing, withering bark. Finide and Comet reach out to her futilely and too late, preoccupied by the rabid rats attempting to gnaw at their flesh. The mysterious figure in the distance falls back into the shadows. Rictus grin, an invitation, a taunt, a warning. You turn your back on them, on the forest and its secrets, and sprint forward into the light to catch your childhood friend. With a dash and a tackle, you grab Deprill out of the air and fold her against your chest. A practiced motion, years of combat training, and ambitions put to good use. The two of you hit the ground with a thud and a roll, hard and painful, but thankfully not fatal.
Are you all right?
Are you okay? No.
In the dirt beside you, her shoulders tight and drawn from the impact, Deprill attempts to smile at you in thanks. It's more akin to a grimace than anything, blood and sand matted to her skin, getting into her eyes. She is wounded and dazed, but alive. And you press her hand to your heart, another childhood sign as instinctual as breathing, before pointing towards the trees.
What? Is there... Who's that?
You shrug as best as you can, with a shoulder half buried in the dirt and threatening to pop out of its socket.
Gods, you just had to pick this quest.
With a groan and all her strength, Deprill jumps to her feet and bolts into the shadows in pursuit, jumping over centipedes and roots with hare-like agility and dogged determination.
Where is she going? Is she mad?
What is it?
You stand, holding open your arms, and Finide grits her teeth before taking the hint. Leaping down from her branch onto the one below, and again into your arms. You repeat yourself for Comet, grimacing at the taller creature, who scoffs before alighting to the ground with a flick of his robes.
I guess Deprill must be okay. Did we follow her?
I'm not sure what other choice we have.
The rats, now that you've all vacated the tree, perch threateningly in its eaves, tails and rapacious hands swaying from its heights like autumn leaves ready to fall. Your party turns from them, towards the swarming, skittering centipedes hiding in the sylva, and goes into the throng. Some way, somehow, the insects don't attack you. They chirp and chomp at your ankles as you pass, but they do not attack. Instead, they scatter, aimless and chaotic around your feet, as if you are no longer a threat. This cannot bode well, but you have no time to think about that, as you spot Deprill and the mysterious stranger close ahead.
She won't be able to get a hold of him. He's too fast and she's too injured. Should we just let him go?
Not if we can help it. Something big is going on here, something sinister. And whoever that is our best chance at figuring out what. What spells can you use?
None if he doesn't stay still. What about you?
Nothing I can do from this distance or without a weapon.
So helpful. I feel so supported. This is going swimmingly.
The stranger tosses his head back and cackles in glee. A horrific and mangled sound, like a corrupted cuckoo's song. His arms, which had been flung spread-eagled and wild throughout the chase, and now bleed inken ichor onto the dirt, go to his sides. They dig in the pockets of his mud and viscera-covered cloak, and you burst forward, tackling him to the ground. Thank the goddess. I was getting tired. Have you lot had a long day? I can tell. You're looking a little worse for the wear. He laughs again, piercing and mad, even as you curl your arms under his and behind his neck, rendering him immobile. His body twitchy and sprawling in your grip, threatens to raise goose pimples where it meets yours. His cloak slithers like snake scales against your skin. His hair in your face reeks of dirt and decay. It coils against your cheek like worms drowning in a spring flood, and you fleetingly think you might see something crawling in it, when the others catch up, standing over the two of you and drawing their weapons.
Excellent tackle, Resterin. Top marks.
Yeah, well, I tired them out. Made it easy for them.
Yes, because that's what I'd call this day. Easy. Never matter. Who are you? What do you know?
I know you folks are not looking too good. What's wrong? Can't handle a few little critters? Some baby mice?
Can you? Because those little critters are 3 times your size and haven't even touched you. Are they your doing?
What? Like, did I make them? No. You see, when a mommy centipede and a daddy centipede love each other very much.
Ugly and not funny. You poor bastard.
I know what you are, but what am I?
Oh, you fuck.
If we could please focus and decide on a course of action.
Yeah, focus.
What if we killed him?
What if we didn't? What if we had a civil and humane conversation like adults and peacefully got to the bottom of all this mess? We can chat, get out of here safely, and return to town. Or maybe even deal with the pest problem together.
That sounds like so much fun. Are we going to do that before or after we hold hands and skip to our play date with a dragon?
Comet, what if we killed him?
Oh, good lord.
Half of us. A majority of us want to kill him. Thank you.
How could you? Resterin has their hands full.
That's their I agree with Deprill face.
They look how they always do.
Exactly.
Who are you? What business could you possibly have in this area?
I'm out for a walk. It clears my mind.
A walk out in an infested, thought-to-be-cursed forest. By yourself.
Why not? Wildlife seems not to care. Oddly enough, he's correct. The centipedes that were previously indifferent but underfoot have now taken to giving you a wide berth, climbing over one another in a crowded, restless circle around you. You try not to feel like carrion under the watchful gaze of a vulture.
Which is, of course, very normal and absolutely not suspicious in any way.
That's what I've been telling you. You're smarter than I thought, birdie.
You're not helping your case. There's no need for that sort of...
Why did you call me Birdie?
Deprill?
I wild-shaped, like half an hour and 100 yards ago? Before we even got to the tree. He wouldn't have seen me if he was just passing by. You'd have only seen if you were following us.
Lucky guess.
All right. We should bring him into town to the rightful authorities. This has gotten more complicated than we thought it would be. And it'd be good for you two to learn when you're out of your depth and how to handle that.
Oh, don't make that face at me, Resterin. Quite frankly, you literally have your hands full. There is no shame in asking for help.
Yeah, Taryn. Don't worry about it. The adults are talking.
And killing him isn't handling it because...
Because we'll get no information out of him that way.
And we would preferably avoid killing anyone unless absolutely necessary.
That too.
Who prefers that? I didn't vote for that.
I did.
His murder isn't really up for a vote, I'm afraid. Comet, should one of us cast sleep or perhaps incapacitate him the old-fashioned way?
A spell would be more reliable, but might not be the most prudent use of my mana if the journey back to the village proves troublesome.
Taryn and I would be more than glad to hit him in the head.
You shake the stranger in agreement, and he yelps in indignation.
Really? No trouble at all.
How much faith do you really have in Birdie and Muscles here? They seem the type to just kill me anyway.
Do any of you have any rope? We should bind his legs and arms once he's unconscious. I imagine carrying him like that would be more tiring than necessary.
Damn, can't you buy a guy dinner first? And on the forest floor, no less?
I have some. Taryn can carry him back. I'd offer to do it, but I don't want to.
Excellent. Well, stranger, you could come with us peacefully and on your own accord, or my friend here can throw you over their shoulder like a stuck boar. You have until I find a component to decide.
How about neither?
Ugly, not funny, and stupid. The man said pick.
And I said no. Your captive laughs yet again. This time an insidious trilling giggle that shivers through your spine. He turns his face up to the sky as if in perverted prayer. And you get a good look into his mouth, at the corroded, blackened flesh of his gums, and the viscous venom coating his teeth.
Damn it, what are you doing?
The centipedes that were skittishly surrounding here now seem agitated, like dogs at a whistle. Their hundreds and hundreds of legs seem to wind tighter and closer, their compound eyes focusing on the nearest combative target. You. Did you find your component yet? Maybe they could help you find it. Finide yelps as the insects get bold, rearing up to hiss menacingly in her face, snapping at Comet's searching hands. They fend the creatures off with staff and fist and kick for now. But more sets of beady eyes and sharp pincers turn your way, as if they've caught the smell of fear on the wind.
Call them off. What is your game? Why are you doing this?
Maybe I'm just like you. Maybe I want to leave my mark on history. Something flashes before your eyes. Your life? No. Another centipede crawls out of his hair. Small, fast, and a lurid shining red that you can only associate with danger. It slithers close to the sensitive, vital flesh of your face and neck. You panic for a half a breath that it's going to crawl into your mouth or the vulnerable canals of your nose when it stops. The bug curls in on itself and falls to the ground, cut in half by the dagger Deprill buried through its body, through your captive's skull.
Gods damn it.
The nameless stranger's body falls from your numb arms to the ground. Blood oozes from his head wound, pooling around his face, now forever frozen in a victorious, maniacal grin. Your own blood runs cold, and you wonder if this is the worst thing you've ever seen. When his corpse starts to darken and putrefy, sloughing off bone and cartilage and soaking into the grass below. You grab Deprill's shaking hand and pull her closer to the others, away from the corpse inexplicably melting into viscous, noxious muck, into a puddle of teeth and rapidly rotting, liquefied flesh. The sludge inches closer to your feet, markedly dark in color for blood, and someone behind you dry heaves.
I hate to say I told you so, but I really did say not to kill him.
I'll make a note of that the next time a lunatic tries to kill you guys.
If there is a next time, get close to me. Maybe I can...
A tremor shakes the ground beneath you, the strongest yet. That persistent humming thrum from earlier, ear-splitting loud. It knocks you off your feet, and you fall back into the squirming mass of centipedes, into one's path. You have a moment to note that the segments are as big as your head, the legs nearly the span of your face, when it scuttles right past you. All the creatures elect to ignore you, thrashing and writhing and fleeing in animalistic distress, burrowing into the dirt, scrabbling up the trees, and finally scattering to the wind as the heap of human remains sinks and fuses into the dirt. Like parchment touched by flame, the ground darkens and carbonizes around where the stranger used to lay. The grass shrinks and withers, black and dry. Under your feet and out into the trees and forest. You watch, helpless and confused, as the ground cracks in drought-like desolation, as the trees droop, their bark drying and peeling before your eyes. A blight spreads. A cannonballs ripple in the water, rotting and darkening all the nature as far as the eye can see. And your party finds itself at its epicenter, with no leads, no answers, and no clue where to go from here.
Definitely shouldn't have killed him.
Oh my gods.
It certainly wasn't the course of action I'd recommend, but we can work with this.
Oh my gods.
Are you upset that that is presumably your first kill, or that it seems like it will have unexpectedly severe consequences?
Both?
If it helps, the first one is the worst.
She's right. They get easier after this.
I'm not finding that helpful.
It could be worse. We could all be dead. Resterin could be dead. It's important to remember that you did what you had to do in self-defense and the defense of others.
That is the first of many hard choices you'll have to make as an adventurer. And you've chosen well, even if it may not feel like that right now. You did what you thought was best with the information and resources you were given, and none of us begrudge you that.
From the ground, you pantomime checking your body for wounds, patting down your chest, neck, and face with exaggerated relief. Deprill manages half of a laugh when you sigh with relief at finding both your eyes still in their sockets. And you grin at her.
That's better. Thank you.
A loud crack echoes through the forest. You all turn and look up as the majestic oak, taller than any other tree for miles and maybe centuries, at least a millennia old, slowly tips and falls to the ground with a sickening terminal boom. The silence that sits heavy in the air is no better. Devoid of birdsong, insect, or rodent drone. There is no sound of life to be found.
Never mind. Everything is awful.
Certainly could be better.
Which it will be. It's not the end of the world, you guys.
Oh gods, but what if it is?
It almost certainly isn't. You don't adventure for long without at least one cataclysmic, horrific disaster happening. You're just getting yours out of the way early. Right, Comet?
Finide slaps Comet on the back of his legs, quick in attempting at discreet. He grunts at the impact, clutching his thigh, and glares down at you when you punch his other side.
To right, Finide. Just another normal day for us and our ragtag party of heroes. Nothing to worry about when mysterious lunatics ominously die and disintegrate into goo.
And even if there were, sitting here and worrying isn't going to do anything. We must pivot and adapt, not sit here pacing or twiddling our thumbs. Forward momentum!
Forward where? I don't think there's anything for us back in town.
I agree. I think they'd only have more questions than we have answers to. So, where do we get those answers?
There we go, Comet. Thank you.
Deprill flounders, and you fake an obnoxiously big yawn. One hand covering your mouth, and the other flapping open and close in incessant chatter.
Yao? Oh, we could go see Yao, my mentor. He leads a traveling grove of druids that taught me all that I need to know. He'd be more than willing to listen and offer whatever they have. With his and the others' help, we might be able to help the land, to heal what's hurting it. They might have seen something like this in their travels.
Perfect. Now we're getting somewhere. Now that's an idea. Counterpoint. I'd like to consider whether we should take this to a higher authority, so to speak. As pleased as I am to see that you're taking initiative and remaining motivated, it might be a good idea to bring in reinforcements. There's a very fine order of paladins less than a day's journey from here in Almitten. I've worked with them before, and they have the manpower to help us, to keep you safe.
Counterpoint, don't hit me again, Finide. If they are to pursue this path, they should do it with all the options and knowledge available. I wonder if our time might be better spent in Nickline, the city I'd mentioned before. It is closer and a trove of scholarly resources and information. A popular trading hub where everyone from this kingdom and beyond stop and gossip. We wouldn't necessarily find help, but if there's anywhere we can find out who that was and what happened to him, it would be there.
I don't know. What do you think, Taryn?
Make your choice, Taryn. Do we A, consult the druids, B, consult the paladins, or C, go to the library? You've just listened to episode 3 of Chaos and Consequences. At the end of its live recording, our Twitch audience chose to travel to the library of Nickline to learn more about the mysterious stranger and the blight triggered by his demise. To determine our party's likelihood of success, the cast rolled a D20. And thanks to a D4 gifted by an audience member, the 12 that was rolled was further modified to lucky number 13. How auspicious. Will our adventurers find the answers they seek? Or will entering the city prove to be a mistake? Find out next time on Chaos and Consequences.